warm afternoon sun passed the living room in the golden glow. One sat on the couch, her hands gently resting on her belly. At 7 months pregnant, she radiated a quiet beauty that took Jungkook's breath away every time he looked at her. Wine, stop staring. She teased, catching him leaning against the doorway with a smile. Take it. I can't help it. How did I get so lucky? Wine, by begging me to marry you. He laughed, pulling her into his arms. Take it. Worth every second. But hey, that's not the story you're telling our kids. Wine. That's exactly what they'll get. In fact, how about some extra spice like the news anchors do? Things that doesn't exist, just like it was a rainy day. Your father fell on his knees in front of me. Wine, I'll die if you don't marry me. She said all that dramatically, and Jungkook slightly tickled her, earning a laugh from her. It's okay. Not like my little princess is going to believe that. Wine, she will. But for now, I have to go to school. I'll be late. Take it. I told you I'll take you there. There's no way I'm letting you drive yourself. Wine, you worry too much. You have a meeting, cook. I'll be fine. JK, I'll bring whatever you need after the meeting. Fine, I'm fine. Your wife is strong. She pecked his lips and stood up. Surely, Wine's pregnancy was quite healthy. She was an active mother. Jungkook was hesitant, but he didn't want to make her feel like he didn't trust her or doubted her strength. He was just worried yet gave in. JK, call me any second you need anything. Okay? Wine, always. She promised with a smile before disappearing from the door. Jungkook was in the middle of a business presentation when his phone buzzed on the table. He ignored it, but the insistent vibrations made him glance at the screen. Unknown number. He picked up, irritation evident in his tone. JK, hello? Mr. John, your wife has been in an accident. She's been rushed to Seoul General Hospital. You need to come immediately. The word irritated Jungkook's breath caught up in his throat as the phone slipped from his hand. JK, cancel everything. He barked to his assistant, already grabbing his coat. When Jungkook arrived at the hospital, he was met with chaos. Nurses rushed past him, and the sharp smell of antiseptic stung his nose. He stormed to the front desk, his voice cracking. JK, my wife, John Wine, where is she? The receptionist looked up, her face softening with sympathy. She's in surgery. Please wait in the family room. Doctor will update you soon, said the receptionist. Jungkook rushed there. It was cold, empty, and such a terrifying feeling that took over him. His wife was in there, fighting for her and their baby's life. His mind replaying every moment from that morning. He should have driven her. He should have insisted. He couldn't help it. The guilt crawled up his chest for not taking the responsibility. Dr. Choi finally entered, looming grim. Doctor, Mr. John, your wife has lost a significant amount of blood, and her condition is critical. The baby's heart rate is dropping as well. We need to perform an emergency C section, but there's a problem. Her blood type is rare and we're running low. Nzeki, what do you need? Doctor, we need a donor or we'll lose them both. Jungkook assured them he'll get it, even if he had to tear apart the sky to find a donor. Jungkook made calls. Every person he knew, every contact, every favor. He used them all. His desperation grew with every second passing. His voice cracked and his hands shook. He had to pull on his hair to try and calm himself. It was hard. He didn't know how to exist without his wife. He didn't know how to live with this guilt his whole life all alone. The loneliness started eating him away. The demons crawled around him, and he felt himself falling in a pitless abyss with no way out. It was until finally someone confirmed they had a donor on their way. Jungkook had rushed to take the blood himself. He handed the doctor the precious bag of blood with shaking hands. Save them. We'll do anything to save them, he whispered. Jungkook never felt himself that broken in his entire life. As the doctor took in the blood, he fell, cried silently, and prayed from God to save his family. When the door to the operating room finally opened, Dr. Choi walked out. His scrubs stained with blood, but his expression lighter. Doctor, they're alive. It's truly a miracle they made it. Jungkook's legs nearly gave out as he let out a shuddering breath, thanking the doctor wholeheartedly. Jungkook was allowed to see his wife not long after. Wine, you here? She whispered, her voice barely audible. JK, I'm always here. He took a seat beside her and ran a hand over her head. Soft, warm, protective. It was everything Wine needed in that moment. A nurse entered carrying a small bundle. Would you like to hold her? Jungkook's breath hitched as the baby was placed gently in Wine's arms. She was small, her delicate features scrunched up in sleep. Wine sobbed softly as she stroked her daughter's tiny head. marveling at the miracle they had fought so hard to protect. Fine, I'm sorry. I should have listened to you. I put you through so much pain. It's okay. It was not your fault. Don't ever blame yourself for it. Jungkook held onto the little girl's tiny fingers. They were so small they slipped out of his hand. Jungkook swore he could cry in that moment out of happiness. The moment was perfect, the complete opposite of the terrifying abyss that awaited him on the other side. He was out of it, safe and happy with his family. Once Swan slept, Jungkook held onto the little princess in his arms and dug his face in her body as she cried silently. It's okay. I'm going to protect you and your mother no matter what. Forgive Appa for making you go through this. But you just never bother your mother because of it, yeah? The little girl was fast asleep, but Jungkook couldn't stop staring at her. He couldn't describe the feelings he got, and that was the promise he made that night to never let such thing happen ever again.